Good morning, everybody, and welcome back for another Abrams battle. Yes, I'm complaining about Abrams spam, but no, that doesn't mean I'm going to stop playing my Abrams. I still would like to get the IPM1 researched before I get to the November sale this year. I appreciated someone else who's had the foolish dedication to keep unlocking, spinning the research wheel every day. The Wheel of Poverty every day there. And get a veteran decal like that. So I took a screenshot of it, and then I didn't do anything with the screenshot. But anyway, this is a battle from the 7th of October, as I was trying to grind out as much research as possible. I was still researching the M247 Sergeant York at this point. I finished it shortly after. But I decided to save that until the anniversary sale, which should happen the first week of November. And most vehicles, if not everything, should be half price Silver Lion purchase price. So I'm trying to get my IPM1 researched as quickly as possible before then as well, and then any other vehicles I can get. The Char 25T and the BMP2 at least I'm working on as well, so hopefully the Warrior, if I've got enough time to grind them all out. I'd love to buy them all for half the Silver Lion cost. That'd be fantastic. But anyway, getting back to this this battle here, we all swarmed onto the A point. I mean, like our entire team pretty much. And I wasn't paying attention to the chat bubble and noticed that I'd been working on a thumbnail before this for a different video and still had caps lock. I use caps lock to turn off the in-game UI. So in order to get the good thumbnail that I wanted from the replay, I had caps lock on and then forgot. But anyway, I noticed it before I sent the shouting we should branch out message to the team, and then fixed it and let everybody know, hey, this is great that we completely swarmed A, but we probably want to take more than one capture point. So, pushed myself off of A and headed over for the B point to see what I could see. There didn't seem to be too much enemy presence at A either, so... So they've taken the B point and the C point. Not a big deal. Still very early in the battle. Not a crisis by any means. Got an enemy spotted out there. He's knocked out. It was a 2A4. Got all kinds of artillery targets closing in on A. So while I'm pushing in for B, I'm trying to watch out for whatever enemies are camping up in their hills. Overwatching B and probably the approach to B from A. And took my time a little bit, tried to be patient here and spot any enemies sitting and watching before I moved in for B. We had plenty of time to do something about the capture point situation in this battle. Now here, I spot this leopard and zoom my gun in with the binoculars. Put a halfway decent shot in him that takes out his gunner, relocate again with my binoculars, see him moving, and put a follow-up shot right through the top of his upper front plate. Commander's binoculars can be extremely handy, especially when you use them to sight your gun in on a target that you can't see through bushes. Got another enemy being marked over there. You can see him deploying his defensive smoke. I tried to back up and get a shot at him, but there was no chance I was going to see him without needing to move in a lot sooner. Our team is decapping B, so that's good. Good work there. We've stopped the ticket bleed. We didn't really lose that many tickets either, which was nice. And they've taken B. So I move back in on an enemy I saw marked over here, closing in on our guys from the side at A. Tried to get a lineup on this guy again, but no, nothing doing behind the rocks. So now I'm just kind of sitting and waiting for the other enemy that I saw over near A to reveal himself, either by being marked or maybe by moving in front of me. My artillery's just about reloaded, so I got it prepped on this guy before it finished. And then the enemy team started capping B, so... After a agonizing wait for my artillery to reload, I punched it off on the guy who naturally got killed a half a second before I fired the arty. And then I rolled around and moved back in to take B back. You can hear a helicopter coming. It's probably not friendly, and it turns out it actually was friendly. It sure sounded like it wasn't coming from the friendly side, which it wasn't, but it was a Cobra that had already moved in behind me and was heading in for the enemy, so... So you can see an enemy tank marked just off to the left there, just in front of the rock by B. So we see a pair of them there. Type 74 that gives me a lovely shot. And then that T-80 or T-64 that's moving in on B in the river as well. So I'm going to push in and see if I can get a shooting angle on him here. Nice little incidental friendly smoke cover there by my pair of Abrams brethren moving in. That was nice. We're taking B, and shortly after we start taking B, they stop us from taking it, which means our friend the T-80 has moved in. You can see him in the background there. He drops his smoke, which I decide to take advantage of and move in a little closer to him. I can see where he is. I mark him for our two friends, and he, thankfully, is not looking at us, but he manages to bounce my first shot off his upper front. And then hits me back and knocks out my turret ring because I'm driving an Abrams, naturally. We traded some artillery, which was kind of funny. And thankfully my reload happened pretty quickly, so I was able to re-engage him, and I only lost one crew member, so I was in halfway decent shape. So we've got a bunch of teammates with me on the B point. I don't want to be too terribly aggressive here, but I figured he's gonna be focused on them, and as soon as he fired, I moved in as quickly as I could and put a shot through his ammo and finished him off, and then we started taking B back. So we've got an enemy SPG right on top of our western spawn. It was a rocket hot, and he got taken out fairly quickly, so I didn't have to worry about turning around to go deal with him. Had a bounce off me from up top in their spawn somewhere. Well, not their spawn, but their side. And then you can see his antennas moving in the background there. And then just as my smoke was deploying, he gave me enough of a shot to get a hit on him, and it actually took him out in one shot. He was a regular Leopard 1, so not too much chance of my APF SDS not doing critical damage to him. I was still using the M735 rounds here, so even better for me that he was a Leopard 1. So we've got a helicopter pumping rockets into our spawn. I felt like I was close to him there, but I probably wasn't that close. He knocked out our Huey, but he got promptly destroyed by an FJ-4B, so crisis averted back at our spawn there. Now we've got two guys over at A. We've got roughly myself and one other guy covering B, and we've got a pair of guys at C, so we're actually spread out pretty well to at least detect any enemy pushes into the caps. However, we're not particularly spread out in strength. We're not concentrated in strength anywhere to repulse any counterattacks on the caps, so it's going to be a quick mobility move as soon as a point starts getting damaged. I should have gone lower on this guy and just gone for that side hull shot, but I was trying to take out his crew, and then I figured I could probably get one underneath his lower front plate here, although I didn't aim quite low enough. My follow-up lower front plate shot still didn't go through because I'm still hitting his joint of the upper and lower, so I went back for the turret shot where I figured I can actually do some damage to him, and that didn't go either. Finally got a dead-on shot through his cannon barrel and his cannon breech, and then somebody else took him out. And I was actually okay with that. I should have, and I will in the future, go for the lower hull shot on the side angle that I had exposed there. So the battle's going pretty well so far. The enemy team has taken A. We've got our two guys there. They knocked one of them out. So hopefully that was the only one, the Object 906, but I'm going to stay and hold tight here on the B point for now. I'm going to reposition to be closer to the A point just in case our guys get knocked out, because there's obviously a Leopard 2K there that's doing some damage now. And I do have another teammate with me here at B. So I'll let him move into B, and I'm going to see if I can press over to A and assist our guys over there with the Leopard 2K. Took a bounce shot that thankfully didn't do anything to me. No serious damage anyways. And then my counter shot was just a little bit too late, and I ended up hitting a rock. But I didn't want to give this guy another exposed open shot on me, as A seems to be sort of stable. So I know roughly where the guy is going to be. Mark him on the map, put some artillery up at him, and they start taking the C point. So I never did end up making it back over to the A point here. I get tangled up in a bunch of enemies over here towards C, but it all ends up working out. So our guy over at A does some really good work. He did good work all battle, and I end up complimenting him for it at the end of the fight. But I'm moving up here to press in on the guy who bounced the shot off me, and then see what I can do to angle in and go after the C point after that. So you can see some shots coming in from C. We lost an XM1 GM right up close to C, so I know there's a Gepard up there. There was also a poor Whirlwind. And then when I look down the way again, there's our Gepard. Now, somehow, I knocked him out, but there's another Gepard back behind him, and watch the follow-up shot on the second Gepard. It made me laugh. So our friend that shot at me wasn't about to expose himself there, so put smoke up there to cover him, and then my second shot on this other Gepard just takes out the gunner but doesn't destroy the whole crew or hull break him, which I thought was sort of funny. I got an assist on him a half a second later right as I fired for the kill shot. And we start taking C and they start taking A. We traded caps a bit here throughout this battle. Dropped some smoke to cover my exposed backside here as I drove in for the C point to assist with the C point capture. Because the guy who bounced the shot off me is still back there somewhere. We finished the C point cap for my third capture of the battle. And I sit tight to reload my smoke, watching the most likely approach for the guy that we saw, or didn't see rather, who bounced the shot off me originally. Took a hit. It's the guy that's being marked, who is most likely the one who hit me in the first place. Dropped my smoke, backed off to change his shooting angle on me, and moved into a slightly more protected spot to repair and reload my smoke rounds. Now I know the guy is right there. My artillery's reloaded, so I'm going to put some artillery just in front of him to throw up a bunch of water and dirt and give myself a little more time to finish my 20 seconds worth of repairing. I get an almost immediate hit on him, which is marking him for the team, as they're also knocking out a Type 87. But unfortunately our guys are not really paying full attention to the mini-map here, and they're going in after the enemy spawn instead of noticing the fact that the enemy team has got A and is now taking B. So my smoke and everything is reloaded. I'm just waiting for the smoke to clear and letting my guys know, hey, this battle isn't over yet. Don't go in for their spawn. And our friend in the T-64A here, I managed to actually get a shot through and set him on fire. He backs off to extinguish the fire and repair. And I'm okay with letting him go because we need to get over to B. We've got one guy at A. I can't count that he's going to win a one-on-one or one on worse odds than one fight over at A, and I've got to get to B and see what I can do there and then potentially help him out at A. We've got our guys just full-on pressing into their spawn behind me, so we're not going to win this battle if we don't do something about A and B. Now our guy is taking A, so that's good, and an A7M1 comes zooming in over the top of me and goes after our helicopters. They actually traded kills with each other, so that was a good thing. At least our Cobra took out the A7. We knocked out a pair of enemy tanks that were close to B, which was good, including our friend the T-64 that I had previously set on fire. And we've just about finished recapturing A, just as I roll into B and start the decap. So we're looking pretty healthy right now, ticket-wise. And I just fired the randomest covering artillery I could reach over at A, hoping to either change an enemy tank's mind or on which direction he was approaching, or maybe even obscure his vision or even hit him and mark him. And as expected, we lose most of our guys who pressed into their spawn over at C. Just like every time. But I finished my 4th capture of the battle over here at the B point. I've had 6 kills and a couple of assists. Hadn't died. I did lose a couple of crew members. I was pretty much one more penetrating hit away from losing my Abrams here. But it became a matter of just sit tight, hold the ground that we've got, and wait for them to come to us, because they have to press now and try to take points back if they want to win. We do not have to press. So naturally, our guys are still pushing in on their spawn, and now everybody who went into the enemy spawn has been killed. It's every time. Tried to pick up our friend the Leopard 2K, couldn't spot him back there in the rocks, so I moved into a position halfway between B and C, where I could react back to B if we needed, or move into C and recapture it or defend it. And the tickets bled out and the battle ended before I got anywhere or saw any more enemies, so I got dropped down to 2nd place because of a couple of air kills for the guy in 1st, but I was okay with that. Like I said, it was probably the most complete game I've had in my Abrams so far. 6 kills, 2 assists, 4 captures, no deaths, a victory, 2nd place. Hard to argue with. Made some decent research gains on both my Sergeant York and my M774 rounds. And I was pretty pleased with this battle. Wish I'd had a big booster on. Would have been real nice. But there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. And we'll see you all soon for more War Thunder. Thank you all very much for stopping by and watching, and we'll see you next time.